What if the greatest villain of the Mahabharat did not die with hatred but regret? What if his last words were not of pride but of truth that can shake your soul? The war of Kurukshetra had ended. There was complete silence everywhere. The ground was soaked in blood, and broken chariots and weapons were shattered all around, telling the story of a terrible destruction. In the middle of all this, Duryodhana lay on the ground. His thighs had been broken by Bhim's mace, and his breath was slowly fading. But inside his mind, a storm was rising. He began to remember every moment of his life, the jealousy from his childhood, his hatred towards the Pandavas, his desire for power, and the biggest sin, the humiliation of Draupadi. Now he was beginning to understand how much he had lost in the race to win everything. Just then he heard the sound of footsteps. With great difficulty, he opened his eyes and saw Draupadi standing in front of him. The same Draupadi whom he had once insulted in front of everyone. For the first time, there was no pride in Duryodhana's eyes, only regret. In a weak voice, he said, "You have won, Draupadi." Draupadi replied calmly, "This is not victory, Duryodhan. This is the cost of losing everything." For a few moments there was silence between them. Then Duryodhana said, "That day in the Sabha, when you were insulted, I thought I had won. But today I understand that was the day I truly lost." Tears filled Draupadi's eyes, but there was no anger on her face, only pain and exhaustion. At that moment, a divine light spread around and Lord Krishna appeared. Duryodhana looked at him and said, "You knew everything. Then why didn't you stop me?" Krishna smiled gently and said, "I tried to stop you many times, at every step, at every moment, but you never listened. Every time someone advised you, it was my voice. But your ego was so strong that you ignored everything, everyone." Tears rolled down Duryodhana's eyes. He asked, "So I was completely wrong?" Krishna replied, "You were not completely wrong, but you always chose the wrong path. Every human has both good and bad within them. The difference is in what they choose." Duryodhan then looked at Draupadi and said, "Can you forgive me?" Draupadi remained silent for a moment and then said, "Forgiveness is not easy, but living with hatred is even harder. If I don't forgive you, I will never be free from this pain. So I forgive you." Hearing this for the first time, peace appeared on Duryodhana's face. He said, "If only I had let go of my ego that day, maybe this war would have never happened." Then he looked at Krishna and said, "I knew you were right, but still I chose the wrong path." Krishna replied calmly, "This is the greatest test of a human, to know the truth, yet not follow it." Now Duryodhan's breath was becoming slower. He looked one last time at Draupadi and Krishna and said, "Thank you for showing me the truth," and then his eyes closed forever. That day, not just a warrior died, and ego also came to an end. This story teaches us that ego blinds a person, and when they finally realize their mistake, it is often too late. Forgiveness has great power, and true victory lies in defeating the negativity within ourselves. If this story touched your heart, then subscribe for more such real and emotional stories, because these are not just stories, they are reflections of life. Radhe Radhe.